So just a couple days ago, the newest trailer for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was released, showing off who the main villains are going to be in the new game. Here we have Ultron, who basically everyone knows if for no reason other than the fact that he was the main villain in a multi-million-dollar movie in 2015. And then there's this lightsaber-wielding bald dude named Sigma, and unless you're a MegaMan fan, you probably don't know who he is. Well, short answer, he's the villain from the MegaMan X series, so if that's all you wanted, you can stop watching the video now. Still there? Okay, so, if you want to know just who Sigma is, his backstory and importance to the plot of the MegaMan X games, stay tuned, because you've come to the right place. I'm no MvC lore master, but if there's one thing I know, it's Mega Man. So get ready for a crash course in MegaMan X lore. Our story begins in 21XX. I know, super specific, right? The important thing to take away there is that this story takes place 100 years after the events of the original Mega Man series, which took place in 20XX. I guess sometime this century we're gonna change the way we keep track of what year it is. The era of Mega Man is over. No one really knows what happened, but he's not around anymore. However, an archaeologist named Dr. Kane finds the abandoned laboratory of none other than the long-dead Dr. Thomas Light, Mega Man's creator. Within the lab, he finds a new robot, MegaMan X, who happens to be a brand new character in MvC Infinite. Well, Dr. Kane studies MegaMan X's design and uses it to create a whole new generation of robots deemed Reploids, the first of which is our boy Sigma. And the world would never be the same. Reploids become a staple of everyday life and become commonplace. And as is bound to happen when dealing with machines and artificial intelligence, they break. And sometimes they malfunction to the point of going berserk and attacking humans. These Reploids become known as Mavericks. So you got a Reploid problem. What's the solution? More Reploids! A team of battle-ready Reploids is assembled, known as the Maverick Hunters, and among its members are MegaMan X and Sigma. That's right, Sigma was one of the good guys at first. Well, the Maverick Hunters go about their Maverick hunting for a while, when one day this Red Maverick shows up out of nowhere and starts raising all kinds of hell. This Red Maverick is none other than Zero, everyone's favorite MvC 3 character. Well, the Maverick Hunters get dispatched to deal with Zero, but he proves to be too powerful for them to handle. So Sigma, who's at this point the leader of the Maverick Hunters, decides to deal with Zero personally. The fight between the two of them is pretty awesome and brutal, and Sigma narrowly pulls out a victory. Sigma brings Zero back to Dr. Kane's lab to have him reprogrammed to be a good boy, but unbeknownst to Sigma and the rest of the Maverick Hunters, Zero had already done an incalculable amount of damage. Just like Mega Man X, Zero had been slumbering underground for decades, and his battle with Sigma happened to be in pretty close proximity to the capsule he was asleep in for all those years, and Zero's creator, Dr. Wily, loaded the capsule with a computer virus, which had been radiating into the surrounding area, infecting any robots that came too close, including Sigma. Now, Sigma didn't go bad right away. The virus took its time working its way through his system, feeling out its new home and biding its time for the right moment. Sigma himself started to descend into madness as the virus overtook his psyche, and he eventually spread the virus to other Reploids, who he then convinced to join him in conquering humanity so that Reploids could rule the world. So you can see how his motives would be in line with Ultron's. This ushered in a new generation of Mavericks, and the virus became known as the Maverick virus. The Maverick Hunters were called in to deal with this threat, now with Zero among their ranks, and this is basically where the first Mega Man X game starts. Through the course of the game, X and Zero fight their way through Sigma's forces until eventually Zero dies, helping X take down Vile, one of Sigma's top-ranking dudes, forcing X to take on Sigma alone, a task at which he does succeed, kinda. You roll through the credits and you feel proud of yourself for winning, when all of a sudden, you receive a transmission from none other than Sigma. He explains that his defeat was only a small setback, and that what you destroyed was only a temporary body, and that his spirit, aka the virus, lives on and will find new bodies that also have bald heads, which will crush Mega Man X. See, Sigma may have been a robot at one point, but that was only up until he was infected with the Maverick virus, which found Sigma, a very powerful Maverick Hunter, to be such a good match that it basically rewrote itself in his image. So when you talk about Sigma, the bad guy from Mega Man X, you're really talking about a computer virus. And there ain't no Norton or McAfee or Avast or Malwarebytes gonna deal with this guy. Now, the way Sigma looks in MvC Infinite is his original X design, so technically it could be before he's been infected with the virus, but considering he wants to join forces with Ultron and destroy all biological life forms, it's safe to assume that he's already gone Maverick. However, it could mean that the version of Sigma that fuses with Ultron in MvC Infinite was taken from the timeline of the first Mega Man X game before his defeat at the hands of Mega Man X, and considering X has been shown in the trailer to have a transformation to his original suit of upgrade armor from the first Mega Man X game, that would make a lot of sense. So Sigma ends up terrorizing the planet in like 7 more games, and it gets a little excessive, but That's basically the story. But what about the dude's character? What's Sigma actually like? Well, personality-wise, Sigma was originally very brave and honorable before his infection with the virus, but became power-obsessed and tyrannical once he went Maverick. Even then, he was still seen as a charismatic leader who believed he was still serving the Reploid's best interests. He values strength and power above all else and sees weakness as something to be extinguished. He also happens to be an extremely intelligent and calculating individual, able to manipulate those around him with and without the aid of the virus. Pairing Sigma with Ultron actually makes a ton of sense. Both of them are robots who were originally built for good but ended up having their own plans for humanity to the tune of annihilating it. They've both been through several robotic bodies and can't seem to ever really be completely eliminated. And they both have the ability to spread their consciousness into multiple robotic beings at once, like these soldier droids that kind of remind me of a combination of Ultron soldiers and the generic Reploids from the MegaMan X series. Ultron's cool and all, but I was totally thrilled to see Sigma, a character from the MegaMan X series, as Capcom's choice to represent their half of the game. It was honestly a huge surprise considering Mega Man's pretty much a dead franchise at this point, even more so that it was an X character as opposed to one from the classic Mega Man series, which is definitely the more popular of the two. It's an interesting move on Capcom's part. Definitely not getting my hopes up or anything, but with the release of the Mega Man cartoon in 2018, and Sigma being a major character in one of Capcom's biggest titles, could we be seeing a return of the Mega Man series? Probably not, but I can dream. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was a kind of a last minute spur of the moment thing. I was working on another video and then the trailer came out and I was like, you know, I bet a lot of people who like Marvel vs. Capcom have no idea who the fuck Sigma is. So maybe I should make a video and tell people, cause I know who the fuck Sigma is. Boy, do I know that story. I feel like this is like the 5th video I've made like explaining the Mega Man X backstory. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button if you like this video, because I upload weekly content that's kind of this nature, and yeah, so do that, or I'll kill you! As always, a huge shout out to all my supporters on Patreon, especially Rack-D7, The Icarus Gambit, Angel Freisinger, Totter, The NM22, Mika Bunny, Donut Senpai, Kayoya, Jake Hester, Stooge, Mero Ochi, and Ragnar Ramus. You guys are awesome. You guys make this all possible. You guys keep me in business. You keep me able to do this as a job, as a career. So huge thanks to all you guys. If you want to support me on Patreon, just check out the link in the description of this video, and every bit counts. So, you know. Thank you. Okay, bye, for real.